Abby, and this video is how I got Misty. So when I first got Storm, I always knew that in the back of my head that I wanted to get a second rabbit, but I thought I wouldn't until I'm like 16 and I have maybe my own room by then and more money. I never really wanted one so soon. So back in July of 2015, I started really thinking about it, and I'm like, well, why don't I just get another rabbit now? It wouldn't really make much of a difference, and plus, why not right now? At the time, I went to my grandmother's, and of course there's internet there, so I did lots and lots of research about bonding and just having 2 rabbits and money, and I did all like the statistics and stuff, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to have 2 bunnies. So I started looking on Pet Finder and stuff, and where I live, it's really hard to find rabbits. The only people who really raise rabbits around here raise them for meat. There's hardly even any for adoption, and there's not really many in general. So I was looking on Pet Finder for females because I really wanted a female, because I thought it would be a better pair for Storm, and plus I just wanted one. I started looking on Pet Finder, and there were like a few, but they were like 3-4 hours away, and that just wouldn't work. So after looking at Pet Finder, I just went to Google and started searching like rabbits for adoption in Vermont. I found the House Rabbit Network. Now, this is a New England, basically, foster system for rabbits, and I thought it was so cool. So I just emailed them asking if they had any females in Vermont, and they said they did. We started like emailing back and forth, and it happened that there was one that I really wanted that was only 45 minutes away, so I started planning to get her. Now when I got home, I was building up the courage to ask my parents for another rabbit, so I finally did, and at first they said no, but then I just explained it to them and talked, and they said yes by the end of the day. So then I started getting into the adoption process more. So I called to do the interview that you do with the House Rabbit Network, and if you live in New England and you're trying to find a rabbit for adoption, please go check them out. I'll try to remember to have the link down below. They are great. It's so easy to do. They just ask for like a phone interview, and the woman that I talked to was very nice. So basically she just asked me where I would keep it, what I would feed it, about Storm, and basically that was about it. So she said I passed, and then she said that the woman with the bunny at the foster home would call later. So when the woman called, it turned out that that bunny that I wanted wasn't a bonding candidate at all. That was a little bit disappointing, but then she told me that she had recently found 2 abandoned bunnies, a boy and a girl, that were only like 3 or 4 months old. So that was really exciting. And of course, with like the whole system, they have to be fixed before they're able to be up for adoption, and they weren't exactly old enough to be fixed. So she basically said that when they get her spayed, they'll call me and I'll be able to get her a week after. So during that, I still looked on Pet Finder every once in a while just to check and to see if there's any more. It's better to have extra options just in case one doesn't work out. So I was on it one day and I saw Misty's ad. So she actually wasn't called Misty. I named her that. Her name was Winnie, and I think they named that from Winnie the Pooh because they probably thought Eeyore, but then that's like a boy's name, so they just named her Winnie. I don't know. The picture was really awful, like the front picture. I remember seeing it before but not clicking on it because the front picture is really awful. But then I clicked on it and I read it, and they didn't give much info, but there was a video on it, and as you can see here as I'm showing it, it really showed more than just a very low quality picture that doesn't really look good. So I decided, like, I got a really good feeling about this bunny, so I decided to email, and basically I just asked how old is she, and they just said, oh, she's an adult, we don't know. She's not young, but she's not a senior. They're pretty vague about it, but I got a really good feeling about this bunny, so I decided to think about it. So around that time, I found out we were going to go on vacation down at a state park for a few days. And the place where that bunny, Misty or Winnie, was around that same area. It was about 30 minutes out of the way from our house to the park. So I decided to fill out the application for the adoption with Misty just to see if I would like pass or whatever. Basically, because it would only be a one-time thing, I emailed them and I was like, can you make adopting her just like a one-time deal? I'd be on the way back from our vacation and the shelter's too far away to come separately, so would you be able to do that? Basically, they said they could. I scanned the little forms or whatever and sent them to them through email, and they said I passed, and basically I could get her as long as she was still there. So I continued on and emailed them like every 3 days or something, and I emailed them even closer when we were on vacation, and then I was really excited. Then we finally went, and I was so excited, I brought my carrier to vacation, and on the way home, we went out of the way and picked her up. Now, basically, this place, they don't deal with rabbits. They fed her really bad, and her cage was fine. It was just like a dog crate with a small area of an X-Pen attached to it, but I could tell that she was pretty unhealthy just by looking at her. I've never told Misty's backstory. I forgot to when I made the new bunny video, but basically, Misty was abandoned by someone. She was just left in I think it was a little cage or a carrier or something like that, and somebody found her just, I don't know where or when, but they just found her and brought her there, and she wasn't really unhealthy, but she was pretty, her coat was really bad, and so they got her spayed and then put up for adoption, and she had been at the shelter for about a month and a half before I adopted her. So around this time, the bunny that I was planning to get from that other woman through the House Rabbit Network, I found out that it was a boy. So then the rest is pretty much history. As you guys know, I bonded them in about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's Misty's story. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope this wasn't too boring for you, and thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye! Starting off at the top of the ramp, we just have this cardboard woven mat with a little fleece on top and with Storm sleeping on it. Right here we have this new thing that I made with just some NIC grids. Right here we have this large lounging logs leading